Hi guys, it's me Ubed, and today we will see how we can send a file from Next.js to Python Flask backend. That means we will be using Next.js as frontend and Python as backend. You can use Flask or Django or Fast API, anything you want with the Python, right? So this will be done using post requests so that you can do it with any other language regardless of what frameworks you are using. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. Before that, if you are working on any custom project, you can let me know on the email or the WhatsApp and we can build something together. Okay, let's start what we are doing here. Send a file to Flasks. We can choose a file. Let's say I choose this one, example input one image file, and I submit. Uh, I have an alert which says file successfully sent to Flask Python backend. If we see our terminal, we have this file here, example input1.jpg. That means we got the file in our Python. We can now save it. We can now do any processing with that file and return the output as JSON, which we can listen here, right? So if we see what we are getting back is I have printed out in the console the name of the file, example input1.jpg, right? This is coming from the Python, this one. So this file output is going back to Next.js, and the file selected was this. But let's see how this whole thing is implemented so that you can replicate it in your own use cases, because I believe you can't just simply copy paste anything. You have to get the overall high level understanding and then replicate it in your use cases or the scenarios you are working on, right? Okay, so here we have our main component. So I have just created a component and then rendered it in the main page.js file. Okay, so this is a client component. You have to use a statement, use client at the very top of the component, and then we want a file. For that, what we can do is use input tag, right? So in the input tag, we have the type as file. That means we can choose file, and we have an on change event. That means whenever the things will change in this tag, this function will be called. Now let's see what this function does. Handle file. We have a function which gets an event, and on change gives you an event, and in that event you can grab file. So we are grabbing the first file, whatever the user has selected, or we can make multiple equal files to restrict user to select only one file, right? Then we have set file, which is being used using use state hook to set the state of the file, this variable, right? So we are setting the file to a variable named file. Then we are printing it, which we are getting right here. So this one, example input one, we are printing it file selected, right? Now when we submit, we are uh, calling another function which is on click and then send file. So whenever we click on submit, this function will run. This is a async function because we want to do some await when we get the response back from our Python. So first of all, we check if the file is null. If it's null, then we say no image selected. If you want to see if it's working or not, we will just refresh, and if we submit, we will get an alert which is no image selected. Please select an image right here, right? If it's not empty, then we are in the else block of the if else, and we are creating a form data to send to our Python. So we have a key named file, we are appending it in the form data, and the content will be file, which is this variable being set it from here. The value is this, right? So the whole pipeline is there, and then we are doing a post request using fetch to this URL, which is our Python Flask URL. If you want to see, this is the Flask API, and you have to include cores. This one is super important when you are working with Next.js or React, because they don't allow you without cores. So make sure to include this statement and this statement. And then we have a route or endpoint which receives a file. So this file is exactly this one, which we are appending it, and then we are returning the file name as output, and this output we grab it right here. So if process.ok, that means we are getting back a response, a valid response. Then we will await to get back a JSON, and then in the JSON we can do further indexing and get our required output. And then we are just uh, printing that. So this will not be exactly process URL in your case. So I was doing another project, but you can feel free to call it anything you want, process output or something like that. And then we have the alert to uh, say that file is successfully sent to the Python. Now do the processing here. So here you can do anything you want with the file. Maybe some machine learning algorithm which are exclusively for Python, because not everything is available in the JavaScript. So you have to somehow integrate them to work in both functionalities, front end and the both end, back end. Okay, I think now you can easily connect your Python with the Next.js, and uh, if you are working on any custom project, feel free to reach out and we can discuss about that. Thanks for watching. I'll meet you in the next video.